she will show you that she wants you. And if you tend to have that certain confusion texting that girl that you're texting, or you're like, oh, well, does she like me? You're already cooked. Let me tell you, brother, you're already cooked, star. If you have to ask yourself, go with your gut, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. I can't stress this enough. I can't stress this enough, right? Go with your gut. If you have to second guess if she fuck with you, she don't fuck with you as much as she's supposed to, right? Because here's the problem, right? She's gonna tell you, you gotta wait. She gonna tell you, oh, not right now. She gonna tell Chris Brown. She ain't gonna tell Chris Brown anything. She gonna get right to it. You see it right here. You think she knows Chris Brown? You think she's met Chris Brown before? If it wasn't no backstage a premium pass or something? Probably not, right? She probably doesn't even know this guy, but she knows his music. She knows how he makes her feel through his music, right? But she doesn't know this guy. But she still gave him a kiss, the same kiss on the same mouth as her husband that she kisses every night as well. No. If you're a female, just swipe off this vid right now. Just swipe off this vid right now. We don't need you here. This video is straight for the men. If you're a female, just swipe off right now. Because we don't want to see you right now. We don't want to hear from you right now. Right now, we're in a learning process. Right now, we're not trying to be like this peon right here. Right now, we're not trying to be like this man right here. We're trying to be a star. We're trying to be greater. We're trying to be better, right? Now, I want you guys, right? Don't even pause this video. While this video is playing, while you're listening to me right now, I want some of you guys to rush to the comment section right now and tell me why you think this happened. I'll give you guys a second, right? Maybe 2, maybe 5. All right, time's up. Now, I want you guys to listen to me, right? This didn't happen because of whatever reason you typed in the chat. This happened simply because of the man, not the woman, right? Now, before you run to my comments and you're like, whoa, Josh, whoa, what are you talking about? How is it his fault that his girl is kissing all up on Chris Brown, and she cheated on him even though they were married? Wait, listen to me, right? They were married, right? Not dating, not no boyfriend, girlfriend, not no friends with benefits, not no homegirl from down the block that you know that you just crushing. It's not that. They were married, right? And this isn't something, the reason why I decided to take time out of my day to react to this is because of the self-awareness that you guys need to implement in your mindset when it comes to stuff like this. So this doesn't happen to you. So you're not on the other end of this. You feel what I'm saying? Right? This is not any regular cheat. This isn't I'm cheating on you in private, or you caught me texting some other guys that pause. Like you didn't catch her texting some other guys, none of that, right? No. Listen to me, right? This ain't that. She decided to sit in front of, I don't know how many people. Guys, somebody in the comment section drop below how many people were at this concert. Probably thousands, right? In front of thousands of people, and there's cameras out. So this gets into the millions, right? Millions of people are going to see this. In front of millions of people, she decided to tongue down Chris Brown. All right? And you guys are probably thinking, well, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I know you've been on the other side of this, right? So don't sit up here and act like, you know, it's because, oh, well, it's Chris Breezy, it's acceptable to do this. No. Right? Unacceptable. Right? You feel what I'm saying? This is simply because of the lack of respect she had for her man. That's straight up, you know, straight up. I don't like to say period, but I was getting ready to say it. Straight up. This is exactly what it is at the end of the day, right? This isn't something about, oh, well, you know, he cheated, this and that, or I got back at him. No. She kissed, this ain't no peck. This ain't no quick dance. Even if it was that, it still is a problem. But no, she tongued this man down, right? Shout out to Chris Breezy, man. He makes some good music, but she tongued Chris Brown down in front of her man. That isn't a get back. That isn't a, oh, well, it's just a once in a life. No, that's a lack of respect. And the problem is with these females today, right? They developed a sense of hypergamy within their dating strategies, right? Now, for my new guys, right, who aren't stars, who aren't a part of the family, right? I'm Justin. I'm just keeping it real on this channel, and the family is the stars or whatever, right? One thing that the stars know is the definition of hypergamy. So if you're new to this and you're new to the game and you don't know what hypergamy is, luckily I have it written down for you right here, right? Hypergamy is the idea of seeking a romantic or sexual partner who is higher in status than yourself. Now, this is a common thing that we see with women on a day-to-day basis. Women, right, they'll treat the men that they think they're above, right, like, and they'll treat the men that they see above them like kings, right? So the problem with this right here is not that you took your girl to a Chris Brown concert, right? Not the fact that there's men out there that's clearly, you know, better than you in certain aspects of life, and it will happen, right? It's not like, oh, well, there won't be no other man, right? You not only didn't make it the choice for her slim to none, right? You allowed this, right? This isn't, I'm not going to say it that she isn't wrong in this situation. I'm not going to say she's not the problem. Don't get me wrong. She's obviously the problem, but you're just as much as the problem as her. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you why now. I'm going to give you guys some common, but not too common, because they're actually overlooked and overseen by a lot of peons out here, right? You don't want to be a peon. You want to be a star, right? And you want to know what's going on. You want to be self-aware. This is a keeping it real channel. This isn't just self-improvement. This is self-awareness as well. In dating, business, anything. You know what I'm saying? You want to be more aware of what's going on about yourself so that you can start to peep signs with other people as well. Right now, I'm gonna go over some red flags I have written down here, or, you know, I don't even like to use red flags. I'm gonna say for 3 or 4 indications, right? These are some indications, right, that these 3 or 4s out here give up early that you guys normally look over and don't see for some reason, right? But it's fine. You came here, you clicked the title of this vid for a reason, right? And you're gonna get some game out of this. By the end of this video, I promise you, you're gonna know something that the stars do and that the peons don't, right? So at number 1, I got lack of accountability, right? Now, this is this is gender neutral. I think this is with anyone you're dealing with, not only just women, with men too as well, with anyone. Anybody who has a lack of accountability in their life will ruin yours, and you have to stay far away from them. You can't do business with people who have a lack of accountability. And I'm going to tell you why now, right? When somebody has a lack of accountability, it's a mindset issue, right? It's a tweak. It's like a dysfunction in their head that they can't see themselves wrong, right? Now, I know this is a topic that could be laughed about because it's like, oh, well, I can't do no wrong. A lot of you guys like to joke around about that, but it's not something to joke about, because if you don't see what you could do wrong, then you won't grow. And you're going to end up like this peon over here who watched his girl tongue down, not even just his girl, his wife, get tongued down by Chris Brown, right? Because in her head, she thought, I'm only going to get this opportunity once, so I better make it worth it, because I know my man will probably take me back, or even if he doesn't take me back, I still got a kiss with Chris Brown. Like, she valued the kiss over their entire marriage. And I promise you, when she got home, she probably told that nigga, oh, yeah, you're just insecure. Yeah, it's your fault why I kissed him. Why would you give me front row seats to my favorite artist? Yeah, it was just the shots of, it was just the lemon drops from earlier. Yeah, it was just because I took a couple shots before the concert. That's the only why, you know? You're just insecure. It's not that serious. It was just a kiss. That's probably what she told him when he got home. Stay away from people with a lack of accountability, y'all. It's just bad for business, man. You don't want to do it, man. It's bad, man. At number 2, I got needs constant validation, right? This one, right? I don't know if you guys see it, but I definitely do. When I'm on social media and I click certain profiles, right? I'm not going to throw any names out there, you know, for the sake of this video or not. But when I see certain profiles, you know who needs more attention than others. You know who knows they got it and who's not sure if they got it. So they got to make sure everybody else see they got it, right? You know, because you're a spectator as well. When you watch other people's stories, you're like, damn, she posts a lot. Like, whose attention she trying to get? You ever notice when you're on like social media, let's just use Instagram for example, right? And you see a girl all of a sudden out of nowhere just start spamming videos and pictures of herself, right? Fellas, why do you think that is, right? You really think that's because she's updating her highlights? Or do you think that's because she's updating her roster? Hypergamy is a real thing. And if you don't wake up, you're going to get crushed and you're going to end up like bro right here. A shorty that needs constant validation is a sickness, right? Because in her mind, right, she can't function without validation. She can't function without attention, right? So here's the thing, right? It's a sickness, not because it's like attention or validation is such a bad thing. No, it's because she can't breathe, she can't eat, she can't sleep without it. A girl who has to show everything she got going on cannot. You have to see that from a mile away. You have to see that. You have to see that. And there's ways you can see it, right? Because, you know, I'm gonna give you guys the real breakdown, right? Her clothing, right? The way a girl dress tells you a lot about the attention she's trying to get and how much she's trying to get. If your girl out here is showing off all her assets, and I mean all of them. The other day I went to the little spot, little club with my boy and whatnot, and we came across this one girl. Wow, I'm talking about, you would have thought she had nothing, like anything on. It was so ridiculous to the point that if I took a picture of her, right, and I just put a caption over the certain thing, you feel me, body parts that were just a slightly bit covered, but everything else was revealed, you would have thought she was naked, right? But I wouldn't do something like that. You know, that's kind of crazy. Don't go around taking pictures of the girls you see out here looking crazy. Just let them go about their day and let them think that they're gonna get the attention that they want, right? And they might, because there's still thirsty men out here. There's still peons out here. There's still people who don't know no better, right? But you're a star though. You know better now, right? Because I'm giving you the game and I'm giving you the information, right? Her clothing, right? If she's wearing these overly revealing clothes, right? These girls just ain't stupid, right? They wake up every day just like us. They see themselves in the mirror probably 10 times more than you do, right? They're looking at themselves consistently, right? Consistently. From the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep, they can see reflections of themselves through mirrors, through social media cameras, through their own iPhone cameras, Samsung camera, whatever they have. There's cameras and there's mirrors and reflections everywhere where you can see yourself. So don't let your girl, right, or your potential girl, or the girl you're talking to, the girl you're flirting with, don't let her tell you, right? Here's another. Oh my gosh. Here's another thing that just goes over y'all head, man. And I just dress for myself. Now, some of y'all may have clicked off, right? Because you're like, what? What does that mean? For the people that stayed, you know better, right? You know that when a girl says, I just dress for myself, she's deluded her mind, right? Anybody who does something for themselves has no problem doing it in private, right? When they get into public and they know what's going on, right? The stuff that you do for yourself don't need to be displayed in public. And the problem with you peons is you guys are sitting up here telling your girls, well, you guys, right? You reprimand her the first time, which you should do as a man, right? You should lead and tell her what you tolerate and you don't tolerate. You reprimand her the first time, you tell her, look, babe, this is a little revealing, right? You got the, you know what I mean? And you got the little monk back there. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else doesn't need to see that. You know, it's a little more difficult to cover up the monk, right? Unless you got her wearing some crazy outfit, which is a little bit of a stretch, right? But there's other things and measures that you could take to where she's not getting the type of eyes and looks and attention that she would normally get if she was single looking for a man, right? The problem is y'all let the girls y'all talking to, the girls y'all dating, dress exactly how they're dressing when they started dating you, as when before they started dating you. So if you don't understand what I just said and I confused some of y'all because I started a little bit, right? Don't mind that. If your girl is dressing exactly how she was dressing when she met you, when she was single, cut her off. And I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Because when girls are single, they know exactly what they're doing. They're looking for companions, right? They're looking for attention. They're looking for somebody to notice them, right? So the certain clothing pieces that they wear are gonna have, eyes on them. But once you get in that relationship, why would you need those eyes on you? You still dressing for yourself? Don't fall for that, man. Please don't. Don't be a simp. Don't be a peon and fall for that. Talking about I'm dressing for myself. Social media, right? I talked about clothing, social media, the most obvious one of them all, right? I think I already covered a little bit of this, and I gave you guys a little intro. When she's on social media, if she consistently needs to post herself and her assets, right? If you guys don't know, right, what assets are the you know what I'm saying? If she needs to consistently post her assets, not even consistently, when you're in a relationship, what are you posting your assets for, right? Like, pipe down, shorty, right? Like, you already have what you need and have what you want, right? Supposedly, as they say. But you're still out here looking for more and more and more and more. You're getting greedy, and you can't allow them to get greedy. You got to cut that shit early. Man, it's getting hot in here, man. Yeah, I'm out here sweating under this nice shirt that I got, right? Another thing, outside, right? This is another part of needing constant validation and seeking a bunch of attention, right? If she's always outside, and I'm not talking about she's outside at the park reading books, outside walking the dog, outside getting stuff done, activities, networking for her business. No, I'm talking about outside of these parties, outside of these clubs, outside of these functions, whatever you want to call it, right? These are common single people areas, right? If your girl didn't want to go with you in the first place, that's immediately a red flag off rip, right? But let's just say, one time she wants to switch it up. She wants to go outside with her girls, right? That's fine. Go outside with your girls. You don't need me around everywhere, right? Sometimes we need our space. But if this is every weekend, you better run, and you better run fast. Or you better say something and only say it once. Because the second time that it happens, this is what happens in her head, right? She's like, okay, I see what I could get away with, and I see what I can't get away with, right? If you don't know something about female nature, right, that I'm a school a lot of y'all that may be new to the game or maybe new to female nature and how they act, and let's just say you just got your heart broke for the first time, right, recently. It happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to all of us. It happened to me. It happened to you. It happened to your uncle. It happened to your grandfather. It happened to your pops, right? Everyone has to get their heart broken to realize the real lies. You see what I did there? Come on now. The lies that these shorties tell you, oh, I'm dressing for myself, or, oh, I'm just going out with the girls again. Girls' night for the 4th week in a row, right? Why? Because she wants that attention. That's a red flag that you have to sense early. And you better cut it off early. Just as early as you catch it, you better cut off that early as well. Now, number 3, blurry boundaries with other men. Yo, this right here is a sneaky one. And you better be careful, because a lot of men, right, secure or insecure, sometimes look over this and don't see the signs early, right? Secure men, right, what they do is, right, they normally let the girl do whatever, right? They tell them once exactly what's going to happen, right? And what they tolerate, don't tolerate. Secure men usually let the girl do, right, her after you already laid it down to her as to what it is and how you work. And then you got the insecure man on the other hand, right? That, you ain't too far from the secure man. It's just a mindset flip and switch that you have to switch off, right? Insecure men, they let the girl just do whatever, right? And then they say something about it, right? And the girl, does it again. Now, here's what secure men do. They cut her off and leave immediately. Insecure men, they stick around because you lack options. You lack a plethora of women. You don't have a plethora of women that you could call up on your phone right now and be like, yo, come see me. You don't have that yet. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh, I need this girl. And, unfortunately, she does this and that, but my boundaries is... Blurry boundaries with other men starts with the blurry boundaries of you. So when you start to take accountability with yourself and how you tolerate certain things, you'll see the blurry boundaries that your girl has with other men, right? If your girl, right, is just a bunch of guy friends, right? And then when you get in a relationship, right? I'm talking about prior to relationship, she has a bunch of guy friends, right? It doesn't matter what happens before you, and it doesn't matter what happens after you. It's about what you do within the time that you have. So prior to the relationship, right, she has a bunch of guy friends, doesn't matter. But now that you guys, starting to pick things up, starting to establish certain things, and maybe even throw a little title in there if you get that far, right? Boom. Once that's established, once that line is established, you have to implement a psychological boundary, meaning in your head, you know exactly when you're going to cut her off if she crosses this line, right? And she, right, has to know what boundaries she has with other men, right? These boundaries aren't, supposed to be flimsy. They aren't supposed to be flexible. They're supposed to be sturdy, like the Great Walls of China. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be sturdy, like strong boundaries, right? When it comes to relationships, because the way the world is evolving, how it is, and you see 3 or 4 cultures getting more praised a lot online, you have to be strict with your boundaries, because if you don't, female like to test. It's in their nature. This is what they do. It's their job to test our strength, to test our wisdom, like all of that other stuff. They like to test. That's fine. Let them test. But once they test, right, and you lay it down what it is, if they continue to step over that line or even dance next to the line or even start walking and approaching the line, you have to cut it where it's at. I can't sit up here and like emphasize it anymore. If she has a bunch of guy friends, right, and the boundaries are blurry with them, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hang with my guy friend today and I'm just gonna do this with my guy. No, sweetheart. We shouldn't be doing all of that, right? Like, I'm the only friend you need. You know what I'm saying? I should be your number one fan, not Chris Brown, right? That's another thing too that I want to talk about. Another little 3 or 4 indication that you guys look over, right? If she's fanned out, right? Like, this is the biggest and most obvious one, right? Because you see a fanned out shorty. This is exactly what happens. Married. I'm talking married. This is not dating. This is not middle school. This is not high school. You're married, meaning you did the vows, you did the time, you went on the honeymoon, you paid for the trips, all of that. Married. And no, do it all the way. Do it all the way. Because her number one fan is in someone else, right? Hypergamy is a real thing. If your girl is, if you're not your girl's number one fan, let me rephrase that. If your girl is not your number one fan, if she's not a fan of you, bro, and your work and what you do and what you get done, this will happen to you. And it's bad because unfortunately, bro got embarrassed in front of millions of people. The thousands of people that was in the stadium and the millions of people watching online. It's unfortunate that it happened to him to this exposure level, but this is a underlying issue of respect and tolerance. It's what he tolerates early in the relationship, when they were dating, not when he put the ring on it. When they were dating, you're supposed to recognize these flags, these 3 or 4 indications, whatever you want to call it, these signals. You know what I'm saying? These blurry boundaries that they have with other men, you got to cut that off easily. And if they're not, like, literally, let me just give you a little tip, right? And it's an important thing that you learn, right? Even when you're getting into this game, right? If you like your girl more than she likes you, you're cooked. And I'm going to tell you why you're cooked, right? Females work off of emotions, right? We work off of, let's just say, logic, right? So females work off of emotions, right? And one day they're feeling sad, one day they're feeling mad, one day they're feeling happy, whatever. When they get around men that they look up to, right? I promise you, these females know how to get in check. They know how to act. They know all of a sudden, all right, this feeling, this emotion that I'm having that's maybe overwhelming me right now, I could just dim it a little bit because I'm around somebody I look up to. When they're around you though, you little peon watching behind the camera who didn't get the game that I've been dropping for the past couple months, but now you're here now, right? So I'm going to chill on you because now you understand now. What happens when they are dealing with you is they're like, you know what? I'm going to give him whatever emotion I'm feeling. I have no problem acting how I act because he allows it, you know? He allows me to disrespect him. And that is what, you know, kind of transition on to my fourth point. When she has disrespect disguised as jokes. This is something you pick up on early. And I'm not talking about early as in early in a relationship. I'm talking about early in your life. I know in middle school, right, when you felt the difference, you felt the energy shifts, you felt it, but you didn't know how to explain it, did you? You know why there was at times where you felt weird. You didn't know exactly how to articulate it though. This is all energy that you're feeling, right? When somebody, you know, picks on you or whatnot, you know, everybody's playing around having a playful way. And then comes that one guy, right? That one guy who feels the need to say a joke, but it's not really a joke, is it? How did you feel? You felt betrayed. You felt exposed. You felt embarrassed. And you really felt confused as to why that happened, right? It's all because of what you tolerate, right? I'm a funny dude, right? I could sit down and have a good laugh for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. But when I sense something dancing on the line of disrespect and a joke, I shut it down immediately, right? And that's what you have to do with the woman that you're dealing with. When she tries to joke around, you know, let her joke. But once that joke crosses a line or steps over a boundary that you have in your head, these psychological boundaries that you prepared in your head prior to getting into the relationship. Why? Because you were working on yourself. Why? Because you were becoming your best self, self-improving, working on your body, working on your health, working on your mindset, watching my videos, working on your skincare. And speaking of skincare, you probably wondering, yo, how's my skin glowing right now? I worked on myself. I learned what I like, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Something that works for me, right? Simple little product. I actually just got a new one today. It's called The Last Step by Luna, right? Now, they didn't pay me or nothing for this average, so don't look at this as an ad or not, you know, you don't, you know. But shout out to Luna, right, for, you know, making a last step formula to have my skin glowing and to have me attracting the right baddies and all that. And you know, just elevating my lifestyle because I'm working on myself. I'm self-improving. But with that self-improvement comes self-awareness. And then you start seeing all the other things around. You start seeing all the BS that these girls is putting. You start seeing behind the mask of certain people because you work so much on yourself. You get what I'm saying? Now, my last and final overlooked 3 or 4 indication, red flag, whatever, right, that a lot of men overlook is that she doesn't genuinely admire you. This is a problem within you. Now, let me tell you something, right? When you first start texting a girl who, you know, you can tell she's on your body, she wants you. Why? She's texting back fast. She's, you know, even though it's your job to lead and initiate plans, she's trying to do it herself too. She's trying to initiate plans with you. She's trying to come see you. You know what I'm saying? She gives you your time and space. When you're in time and space together, she's clingy. She's on you. She doesn't want to let go. Like, these are all positive green flags, good indications, right? But when you're on the other hand of that, or when you're in the middle gray area, where sometimes she responds fast and other times she doesn't, you're getting a little hot and cold. And sometimes she wants to see you, and other times, you know, she's not, you know, she's really passive about linking you. The hot and cold, right, fellas? That's a lack of interest, right? That's a lack of desire that she has for you, that you guys have to be able to sniff out like early, because early on, you can tell when a girl meets a guy that she really likes. Doesn't matter if it's early on, or it doesn't even matter if it's in the first second, first minute, first hour. She will show you that she wants you. And if you tend to have that certain confusion texting that girl that you're texting, or you're like, oh, well, does she like me? You're already cooked. Let me tell you, brother, you're already cooked, star. Right? If you have to ask yourself, go with your gut, listen to your intuition, listen to your gut. I can't stress this enough. I can't stress this enough, right? Go with your gut, right? If you have to second guess if she fuck with you, she don't fuck with you as much as she's supposed to, right? Because here's the problem, right? She's going to tell you, you got to wait. She going to tell you, oh, not right now. But she going to tell Chris Brown, well, she ain't going to tell Chris Brown anything. She going to get right to it. You see it right here. You think she knows Chris Brown? You think she's met Chris Brown before? If it wasn't no backstage a premium pass or something? Probably not, right? She probably doesn't even know this guy, right? But she knows his music. She knows how he makes her feel through his music, right? But she doesn't know this guy. But she still gave him a kiss, the same kiss on the same mouth as her husband that she kisses every night as well. And, unfortunately, like I said, it had to happen to him in public. But, if he was watching my videos, if he was a star, he would have known straight up right away, early in the talking stages, this is a 304, right? There's a term, right, called hoflation going around. I seen it on TikTok once. It's actually kind of funny. It's called hoflation, right? And it's basically just as it is. Basically the 304s of this generation, right, are starting to influence other 304s. That it's okay to do what you're doing and you'll find yourself a good man. But you knowing better, right? You watching my videos, you improving yourself, improving your mindset, retaining game and practicing it. You know better. You know not to tolerate that nonsense. Because this isn't a hate woman video. Don't get me wrong. There is good women out there, right? And I truly do believe there is good women out there. But do I also believe that majority of them aren't good? Yes, I also believe that as well. I think hoflation is a real thing, and I know hypergamy is a real thing, right? This is what they'll do when you have thin boundaries, when you have flexible boundaries, when you allow certain stuff. This is what happens. Now, if you got something out of this video, man, like, comment, subscribe, man. Share this to somebody who needs to hear this. Share this to your homeboy who can't see past his girlfriend, who can't, for some reason, see the signs early. Share this to somebody. Somebody's going to need it, man. Like I said, man, like, comment, subscribe, man. If you enjoyed this video, man, share it. And stars up and stars out.